What's up, guys? Xionik here, and as you can see, we have a face cam. So I wanted to try something new in today's video. I've been streaming a lot on Twitch lately, and me and the chat got to discussing my Rogue Company tier list. And so in today's video, I wanted to discuss my tier list and rank my rogues from, least to best. And if, you guys are new to the game and maybe are trying to figure out which rogues you should play or which rogues you should unlock first, this is the perfect video for you. So if you guys like the video or you learned something new, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Thank you guys and enjoy the video. Okay, so tier list. Ads are going to be changing, that's fine. Not a sponsor. All right. So Anvil. Anvil, I'm going to say is C tier. Easily. He's good. He's decent defender, but I wouldn't pick him over anyone else, to be honest. I would play him for fun, and so like C is basically going to be like I play for fun. But I don't think they're bad. But I also like, I wouldn't choose them over any other rogue. D tier is a character that I just completely think is not worth playing. Obviously, all of these can be used and still do good with them, but I feel like D tier is like ones that I would rather never use. All right, Chalk. We're gonna put Chalk A tier. The reason why we're putting Chalk A tier is because you put him in a res comp team where you have Saint, you have Dahlia, and then his self revive makes him very formidable. Plus, he has Semtex, he has flashbangs, allowing him to push very aggressively, and his submachine gun is just a shred machine. So he's definitely A tier to me. Dahlia, we're gonna put Dahlia in the S tier. Dahlia, the reason why I think she's S tier is because she is not just one rogue, she is many rogues. She gets the passive of any rogue that's in your team, and so you never really know. I mean, obviously you can see when she links up, but you don't know for sure, who she's going to link up with until the round starts. And she can get some really nice passives, including Mac, allowing her to have 25 armor on every down, and I feel like her with Mac's passive is actually better than playing Mac. So that's why she's S tier, because I feel like linking with certain rogues makes her very, very, very strong. Even though I don't even have her unlocked yet, I've seen the way people play with her. Her submachine gun is ridiculously strong, and the fact that she can get all of these rogues passives is just super strong. Dallas, C tier. I think he's okay, and he's fun to play every once in a while. I think his ability is not amazing. I need to put these ads. Like, get out of here.
And
what
sell
is this?
anywhere. Just
Skip ad. Okay. So yeah, so I think his ability where he likes that and marks people, I feel like it's okay, but it gives you one person that's closest to him, so you have no idea where the rest of the enemies are. And not only that, but if I get marked by Dallas, then I know that he's there as well. I know I'm closest to him, so he marked me. Well, I know that he's closest to me. I don't know exactly where he's at, but it gives away which direction he's in. So say, for example, your whole team decides to go A. Dallas uses his mark. Well, I'm going to immediately say I got marked on A, and now we know Dallas is over there. We may be able to assume, if nobody on B is seeing anybody, that the entire team is now on A, and he's given away that position. So that's why I say he's C. When used right, he's good. I don't think his guns are that great as well, so he's the C tier for me. Dima, he's our first B tier. Reason being, and I know Radhen, you might get upset by this. He is our first B tier, and the reason why is because I think he is good, and he is definitely a benefit in certain compositions of teams. But I think there are better choices. Like what I would say my ideal team would be full of S's and A's, right? So he is one that if you play with him and you're good at the game, you can do very well with him. But I feel like there is, if we're looking at it in the sense of, the ideal team, I wouldn't put Dima in there. Glitch is going to be B tier. Same thing. He's really good intel. He uses his ability. Well, he opens his ability. He can see in a ring anyone that's in there, gives them his name, so he has kind of good intel. but he's also a really good breacher. He's got the Semtex, he's got the stuns, and his submachine gun is amazing. He's also got really good perks. So Glitch is definitely, he could almost be an A, but I think he's safe in a B. I think he's a good character. He's useful on any team he's on, but I think there are better choices if you're trying to form the greatest team. Lancer. Lancer is A tier. Reason being, Lancer is not only a... What's up, Nate? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the stream, man. So, Lancer is an A for me because I feel like if you get good with Lancer, you are one of the scariest rogues to go up against, because sound is so much in this game. The footsteps are so loud, and the fact that she can be completely silent while sprinting, plus a speed boost, and the reloading on dodge is just a bonus. I feel like she's a very strong rogue and definitely has a place in multiple team comps. Phantom, this might be a surprise to you guys. B. B tier. Although Phantom is my favorite rogue, I'm not going to be biased here. Phantom is B tier, and the reason why I say this is because Phantom, if you are bad at Phantom, you are a detriment to your team. If you are good at Phantom, you are slightly benefiting your team, depending on how you play with the sniper. Her abilities don't really benefit the team. The smoke is, I guess, a decent way to block lines of sight, but other characters have smoke, and the sniper rifle is not a great weapon. Even though it's fun, to me, sniping is always considered a fun weapon to use. I wouldn't consider it a very strong weapon. So snipers in general to me are B tier, even though I love sniping and it's just satisfying to get those headshots. To me, automatic B tier. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so sniping, like I said, is just a fun thing. So I put Phantom in B. Stop with the ads, man. You piece of shit, it's muted. I can see that it's muted. Fucker. Alright, so yeah, sniping is always just a fun thing. And although there's certain games, like you look at Cold War, sniping would be S tier because sniping is overpowered as fuck, but that's just the way they balance that game. In this particular game, the time to kill is pretty decent. Although sniping is strong, if you never miss a shot, if you're missing those shots, then you're just basically a waste to your team. Now, you can use her with the Nightshade, which is a very strong assault rifle. The downside to that is, why would you use Phantom with a Nightshade when you can use V with a Nightshade, which is a way better character in terms of abilities with an assault rifle? So, B tier, definitely, maybe, and this is my favorite rogue, maybe a C tier. Ronin. Ronin is a C tier. And this might be surprising to quite a few people on this game for me to have that opinion, but I think Ronin is, again, in this C tier, is characters that you can play and do very well with. And I'm not saying any of these rogues you can't do amazing with, but Ronin to me is, her abilities are kind of useless. Although fun, her dagger can be used as a throwing weapon, which any melee, everybody has melees, so that's not really a thing. She can use it aggressively in the sense of if somebody's behind cover, you can throw your dagger to the right, close to the cover, and then shoot it, and it's basically like a mobile claymore. But there's other rogues that have things that can do that better. And she only gets one. You know, like somebody can have grenades, Semtex, can have C4s, stuff like that. It's all basically the same thing, although you can throw it better. The other way you can use it is defensively, like a trip mine. So you can throw it up against a corner of a wall. When somebody walks around it, they die. But you have characters like Trench that has 2 trip mines, or 3, I think. And so essentially to me, Ronin is a fun character, but I would not choose Ronin over any of these rogues above here, unless I was just doing it for fun. So that's my take on that. Saint. Saint is S tier. Yeah, I don't know what the ads are. This is a free website, all right? We're just kind of winging this tier list, but I wanted to do a tier list. So again, Saint is S tier. Reason being, okay, not only does he have a great revive, he has a super fast revive. He has a revive that he can do from across the map. Those are 2 really awesome support character abilities right there. 3, his perks are awesome. He's got bounce back. He's got other shit. Hold on, let me look for a reference here. So let me see. So bounce back, by the way, is the #1 perk in the game for me. So he's got bounce back. He's got armor, which you can repair infinitely, which is awesome. So he has 125 health. He can repair his armor infinite amount of times. He's got C4, which is super strong. And if you guys haven't noticed yet, really good players are quick to, as soon as you get in an engagement, they will throw that C4 and you'll be down. He's got smokes to block lines of sight, which is why I said with Phantom, there's no real reason. Her smoke is good because you can see people in it, but in terms of a smoke to block lines of sight, a lot of other rogues get smokes and they get 2 of them. So I think that that's a downside to using Phantom. But anyways, back to Saint. His secondary, the Deagle, or the Executioner in Rogue Company, is, in my opinion, the best, or right up there tied with some of the best secondaries in the game. I love the Deagle, and you can easily use it as a primary, so that's also another bonus. His second, or one of his primaries, the Mamba 3-round burst rifle. Super accurate, super high damage, great hip fire. It's a great gun. And then you got his main assault rifle, the MLK Mark IV, which to me, I just love the way it looks because it's a classic M4 and I like the way it looks. But fully upgraded, it is a laser, it does high damage, and it is, I mean, just super accurate, and it's suppressed. Okay, so all around great character, plus the revive, so he can be played aggressively and defensively at the same time, or aggressively and be support at the same time. So he's easily an S for me. Scorch. Scorch is a weird one for me. I'm gonna say B. Although Scorch is good, Scorch is very good. The reason why I put Scorch at a B is because Scorch counters Scorch. You have another Scorch on the enemy team. That's a character that you cannot use your ability against. You cannot use an incendiary grenade. I still think Scorch is a very good rogue, and I don't think that she is a detriment to any team. I think you could swap her in and still do great, but I think there are better choices if you're trying to create the perfect team. Not to say that Scorch is probably in the middle. She'd probably be like right here, in the middle of B and A, to be honest. And if we're going even more, I'd say Scorch is, yeah, we'll probably put her right there. She's the top end B, almost an A. Sigrid. Sigrid's a B, and we'll put Sigrid right there. Sigrid's pretty much in the same league as Scorch, as she's almost an A. And the reason why I say that is because a good Sigrid is very intimidating, and for me personally, I love to snipe a Sigrid's head when she's got her shield up and she actually goes to shoot. It's one of my favorite things to do in the game. But a good Sigrid is very dangerous, and if you let her get close, you are screwed like 9 times out of 10. She can just melee bash you and you can't do anything about it. Some, obviously if it's a bad Scorch, you can counter it, but most of the time, if you let her get within that melee range, you're screwed. So Sigrid is definitely a almost A, and to be honest, probably deserves to be an A, but I'm going to leave her in B. Talon. Okay. Talon, I'm going to say he is C tier. And remember, C tier is characters that you can still play and do well with, but I personally think that they don't really benefit a team. And if we're looking at team comps here, Talon is, to me, he's a fun character. I think his ability is kind of lackluster. He can throw a dagger that sees people, and he can grab items back from a distance. Okay, it's kind of cool, but I think I would rather have a lot of the other rogues. Like any of these rogues in B tier, I'd rather have their ability than his. I just recently started playing Talon, and I think he's fun. He's got a good submachine gun, and he's got the padded steps, which allows him to just walk normal speed without having footsteps, which I think is good. He's decent, but I think that overall, his abilities are useless, and people that play him are only playing him because they like the way he looks, or they're just playing him for fun. I don't think they're playing him for a serious character. Fixer. Here we go. My least favorite rogue in the game. And what a surprise, he's going to D. And I have a lot of opinions on the reason why Fixer is a D. Not only because he's a sniper, and I feel like snipers don't benefit your team a whole lot in this game. It might not be the same for other games, but I feel like in this game, snipers don't really benefit your team a whole lot, although it's fun. For one, in my opinion, in every way, Fixer is a worse sniper than Phantom. His only difference being that he can throw smoke and see through it. But again, when he pops his ability to see through it, his goggles glow bright. And if you're playing against a good team, your smoke is basically void at that point. Because he can see you, but you can see him. But none of his teammates can see you. So it's a 1v1 at that point. And if he throws his smoke, push into that smoke and shoot the goggles in the face. That's all I got to say. His sniper is worse in every way than Phantom's. It's a one-shot, one bullet sniper rifle that requires a long reload in between, and even upgraded, it can get a faster reload, but it's still slow. Meaning that if you hit your shot in the body, you do not get an instant down. You have to reload. By that time, the enemy's going to be gone. Even if you get the down, you headshot the enemy and you get the down, the reload 9 times out of 10 is going to cause that enemy to be able to crawl out of your way if you're trying to finish him off with a sniper. If you're using it at longer range, which is what you basically should be unless you're just playing for fun. So his sniper is worse. His ability, I think, is not that great, and I think he needs a buff. So to me, he is definitely one of the worst rogues in the game. And now I don't have anything lower than D, because I still think I think every rogue in this game is definitely viable, and you can do well with them. But I think in terms of ranking them up against the other rogues, he is definitely the worst. Trench. Trench is also a D to me. Now, Trench recently got a buff, and with this buff, he received trip mines. And the trip mines are good. He gets 3 of them, which makes him able to do what Ronin can do with her dagger even better. The reason why he's a D is because his abilities, or his barbed wire, in my opinion, is super weak. As a defensive character, at least whenever I'm going up against a Trench, I'm not worried about his barbed wire at all. His trip mines, I'm worried about it, but if I know there's a Trench on the enemy team, I obviously know he's going to have trip mines, so I avoid them. So I think that makes them a little less dangerous. Plus, you have the lasers that you can see, and obviously if you're playing against a good player, he might try to hide them. But I just think that his abilities in general, I would rather have other characters to do that. Now, I think one of the things that they could do to Trench to make him better would to be make his barbed wire more of a threat. And the way they could do that is right now, all it does is it slows you down and stops you from dodging, which is okay, but I'm not worried about barbed wire. If I see a barbed wire down a hallway, I'm not worried about the barbed wire. I'm worried about a guy covering that hallway. And if there's nobody covering it, I'm going to walk right through it. Therefore, it doesn't deter me at all. But what they could do is add a slight damage tick to it. So it hurts you to walk through it, which would make sense. You're walking through barbed wire, it's going to hurt. I don't think it could be very high damage, but at least damage that would deter somebody from walking through it. And then the other thing about that is the reason why I don't think it'd be overpowered is because you'd have to choose to walk through it. So that's something I think they could do, and if they did that, I think he would easily be a B. But for now, I just feel like he's a D, almost a C. I think his ability, his passives, and his weapons, his primaries are not that great. I think he definitely needs a buff. Along with these guys in D, need a buff pretty big time. Okay, so V. V is my main, and V is definitely S tier. And I will explain this a lot better when I do my tutorial or my guide for all the rogues. When I get to V, I will explain this better, but I think V is hands down probably the best rogue in the game above these two. And I'll give a reason why. Her ability can be used offensively or defensively. And she is very aggressive if she wants to. The Nightshade, probably one of the best guns in the game. She's got Bounce Back, which is the best perk in the game. She gets added health that regenerates once you throw your poison at somebody and you steal their health, up to 125. She's the only character in the game that naturally regenerates 125 health. She also gets incendiary grenades. So she's got 2 poison sacks, or whatever you want to call them, plus an incendiary grenade, allowing her to lock lanes off and completely stop. You can stop an entire team from pushing from 3 lanes. So she's super defensive, and if you want to play aggressive, she has everything you need to be able to play aggressive, plus a great secondary, the Executioner, the Deagle. So hands down, I think she's the best rogue in the game, and if I play up against a V, to me, that's the most threatening character in the game to me. So my ideal team, real quick, we'll finish off this tier list real quick with my ideal team, would obviously be a V, a Dahlia, a Saint, and then one of these 2. And that right there is, I feel like, is one of, if not the ideal team for any map. These 5 right here. You can swap either of the A's. You could even swap one of the A's with any of the B's here, and probably Sigrid or Sigrid or Scorch with one of the A's here. But these 3 plus Chalk or Lancer, super strong team. These 3 plus Sigrid, an amazing team. So that right there is my ideal team. Mac, Kestrel, and Seeker. Okay, so they're not on here. So Kestrel, I'm gonna say, is an A, easy A. Her guns are good. Her ability is very strong when used right, even though I don't know how to use it. Super strong. And Mac is a B. I think Mac is decent. I think he's better than Anvil. After the nerf, before the nerf, I should say, he was definitely an A or even an S. But after the nerf to the guns and everything, he's definitely a B. He can be swapped in for the A's, but I wouldn't choose him if you're trying to go for the best team possible. And Seeker, I'm going to say Seeker is also an A. And the reason why Seeker is an A is because he is probably the best intel in the game. He gets an arrow that he can shoot. If anybody walks by it, they're marked. You can see them through the map, and you cannot shoot the arrow to destroy it. I think Seeker is super strong in terms of intel. So yeah, again, any of the A's can be swapped out, but these 3 right here are my definite. If I want to play as sweaty as I possibly can, I'm going to have a V, a Dahlia, and a Saint. Hands down. There you have it, guys. There's my official tier list for Rogue Company. It's a really good list if you guys are trying to figure out which rogues you should unlock first. And I'm going to be doing videos on all the rogues and doing guides for each one. So stay tuned for that, and make sure to go over to Twitch and follow me at XTC Xionik. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!